What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Awesemo.com coming to you with 3 plays to utilize for Jock Market today. If you haven't had a chance to utilize Jock Market yet, it's fantasy sports turned into the stock exchange where you can play with players every single minute, every single second, every single hour of every single game. All you're going to do is buy and sell shares of players in real time for real money. But first, there's an IPO phase where before the slate locks, you're able to get those players at a little bit of a discounted rate. That is what I'm going to be looking at doing with these three players specifically. Head over to Jock Market, download the app, use promo code Awesemo, get a $50 bonus on your first deposit. It is as simple as that. They don't just have NBA, though. They also will have MLB coming up here soon. Looking forward to that. NHL, PGA, there's 2 PGA markets for this week. I mean, absolute madness there over on Jock Market. Going to be a lot of fun. Go utilize that promo code now. Now, let's get to the picks. For my first pick, and I don't really know what to say other than I don't think Joel Embiid plays today. And this is just kind of a gut feeling. He's played on a lot more back-to-backs than he's played in the past here, but they just got done having a tough, grinded out game against Toronto, lost 88, and only put up 88 points. It's kind of surprising, but 93-88, they ended up losing that game. They get Miami here at home, and maybe they're okay playing Joel Embiid here on the back-to-back, but in the event that he is not there, you have James Harden at the IPO phase, $9.30. Now, Doc Rivers has done a lot of crazy things over his career, especially to us DFS people who are trying to, make our money doing this and predicting what coaches are going to do. And he's just insane and unpredictable. But it would not even surprise me if we got up to the 7 p.m. Eastern time lock and 20 minutes before that Philadelphia game, Joel Embiid miraculously sits. And I think it's far more likely that he would be the guy sitting than my friend James Harden over here, who would become my favorite play on the entire slate and my favorite target for Jock Market specifically. We currently have him at a $9.30 pregame IPO price. That's his projected IPO price that we have over on the site. And I feel like that's going to be pretty advantageous if you're able to get him at that number. He might go for a little bit more. So I'm really targeting him in the event that Embiid is sitting here. It's late in the season. Philly's pretty locked in where they're at here right now. Boston's making a surge up the Eastern Conference board, but they need Embiid healthy here for the playoff stretch. You didn't acquire James Harden to not have him play in some of these garbage games. It's a tough Miami spot. He probably doesn't want to go nuts against Bam Adebayo here. I think they have a possibility of punting it. So looking at Philly, I think Tobias Harris would be a guy, Tyrese Maxey, but above and away, James Harden, if there's no Joel Embiid, needs to be your target, just $9.30. Second on the board, and this is basically something that I've started to put into my Jock Market process. It's utilizing the boom bust tool in the pregame IPO phase. For DraftKings and FanDuel, you have the boom bust tool that is an opportunity to see who are some of the players that are going the most underappreciated on the slate on both DraftKings and FanDuel, and using that information to inform underpriced players in the pregame IPO phase on Jock Market. And the most positively leveraged player you can get on DraftKings at this given moment is Kyle Kuzma. He's $8,000, so obviously the price is something that is going to factor into that. But even on FanDuel, where he's a little bit cheaper, you have an opportunity at $7,000 to get positive leverage on him there. He's the most optimal appearing guy on the entire slate on FanDuel. I mean, his rebound rate has been out of control, and when you put Kristaps Porzingis into this offense, I mean, he was already playing alongside Rui Hachimura, Daniel Gafford. You have all these guys that are traditional bigs, and Kristaps Porzingis isn't exactly going to be rebounding at a higher clip than all of them. He's more offensively minded, and so Kyle Kuzma, I don't think his rebound rate is going to take as big of a hit as what a lot of other people are inferring. Sure, his offensive usage is, but for the most part, just that opportunity for him to get it there on the glass to really build up his floor. And then offensively, he is going to get something done sooner rather than later. He's been revelatory this season. Porzingis has still not exceeded 30 minutes, although he was in foul trouble against the Lakers and could have had an opportunity to get over that 30-minute threshold for the first time as a Wizard. But Kyle Kuzma is going to be a centerpiece of this team alongside Porzingis. He's going very, very underappreciated. Think about it this way. James Harden has a $9.30 pregame IPO price. Kyle Kuzma's at $7.90. I very highly doubt that Kuzma is going to be going for near the same price as a James Harden. And that kind of tells you what you're working with here. And of course, that Harden projection is with Embiid in, which we obviously just covered. I don't believe is going to happen, but that gives you the context of how good of a play Kuzma is, not just for DFS purposes, but specifically to go target on Jock Market. And my last play, let's get really, really weird. And it's a guy that's projected right now for a fair IPO price of 50 cents. But I saw some things yesterday that were very, very encouraging with a shorthanded OKC rotation. And I think if you get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander out here again, Derek Favors continues to be out, James Robinson-Earl continues to be out, and Bazley and Sarr are kind of like, Bazley starts alongside him, but Sarr is kind of an afterthought here. If Isaiah Roby is starting again, they gave him the longest leash they have in a very long time. 28 minutes against Orlando for Isaiah Roby. Now, he's not going to project out well. He's not going to look great, but if he gets on the floor from a fantasy perspective, he can certainly get things done. And just being able to have that 28 minutes in your back pocket against Orlando, and this is a team that's not going anywhere. I very highly doubt if Shai is actually dinged up that they're going to let him go out and play here in this spot. And that just means more usage, more opportunity for everybody. Isaiah Roby is exactly a 1 fantasy point per minute player over on Jock Market. So he really stands out in that respects. He's going to be completely unknown. Now, if he's going for like $2, $3 in the pregame IPO phase and you don't have that starting lineup out yet, go ahead and shy away. But I think there's an opportunity to target this front court in a way that there just hasn't been in weeks past here. So Isaiah Roby, be on the alert. If he is starting, I will have interest at a very low price that I am assuming will exist over on Jock Market today. And those are my 3 plays for today. We've got James Harden on the top end, Kyle Kuzma as a mid-range option, and Isaiah Roby as a super cheapie that might go very, very overlooked over on Jock Market. Let me know below what you think of my picks. If there's anybody else that you think is going to be underpriced over on Jock Market here for today. And don't forget, use promo code Awesemo, get that $50 bonus on your first deposit. And plus, there's also a first market guarantee. So if you play Jock Market for the first time today for the NBA market, they'll refund up to $100 of your losses completely free. That makes it a win-win situation. Use promo code Awesemo. I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck tonight.